He already has a lengthy resume, a Dallas attorney, a former state rep, and of course a regular here on Flashpoint. But Domingo Garcia is now the recently elected national president of LULAC. And with us to talk about the work that is ahead of him. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Glad to be here as a guest.
Glad to have you here. Let's talk about your first priority. What is it?
Growing LULAC to 1 million members. We have about 140,000 members. LULAC is the oldest Latino civil rights organization in the United States, founded in 1929 in Corpus. And it's the largest Hispanic organization in the United States. So with the battles that we're having in Washington and in state capitals around the country, we need to increase our membership, increase our political strength to really mobilize 60 million Latinos in the United States and Puerto Rico.
Domingo, I've been in Texas for 20 years. There are a lot of people who look at LULAC now and say it is outdated. What do you say to those folks?
We are renewing it, rebranding it. We're bringing in new ideas, new blood. There's a new generation of activists, from the dreamers to those people that have been protesting and marching at various levels for either environmental justice, criminal justice reform, or immigration reform. And we're going to get that energy and put it into LULAC.
Talk about rebranding. I mean, are you changing the acronym? You're changing the logo, the shield with the red, white, and blue on it?
No. We're talking about the emphasis of the organization, going back to its roots as a civil rights organization, whether that means protesters in the streets or that means filing lawsuits in the courts to protect the civil rights of every American, but especially Latinos.
Why did you decide to run for this office?
Because
you're busy, you're on billboards, you're on our program all the time. Why add this?
When you see people talk about building walls, and you see kids in cages, and you see the voting rights of Americans being under attack all the time, I just figured I needed a national platform, and that's what LULAC does. We have a national office in Washington, offices in LA and El Paso. We have the infrastructure to take on some of the critical issues facing America today.
Let's talk about the strange part of the history in LULAC. Your predecessor had a lot of Latinos scratching their heads after he gave full support to President Trump and his efforts to reduce illegal immigration and increase border security. I'm just curious how you're going to change course and repair that image. Is it repairable? I
think it's totally repairable. I think it's already started. We have a new CEO who's 35 years old, a Latina, and I'm the new president with a long history of civil rights activism. And we're rebranding and rebooting LULAC into the 21st century. And I think you're going to see us a lot more active across the country and on the news and on the streets and in the courts.
I was going to ask you, how so? In social media, in press conferences, protests? What are you thinking?
I think all of the above. And the main thing, though, is people need to realize that somebody is going to be the voice for those 60 million Latinos in the United States and Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico in about 2 weeks. They still haven't recovered from the hurricanes, and they're still being treated as stepchildren. What's happening across the country in education, in health, are issues that are important to Latinos, but also to all Americans. And I want to make sure that we fight for those issues. So as why are public universities still not free? Why do people still have to have 2 jobs and have a college mortgage when they graduate? Why don't we do colleges like we do high schools, free to the public?
I want to ask you, final moments here too. Latino turnout, voter turnout for Latinos is low nationwide, always has been. It's low in this state. Is there a quick fix for that?
No, it's going to go back to old-fashioned organizing. We got to go and mobilize our members to do voter registration drives, knock on doors, call them on the phones, text, and social media now to get them to vote. But our numbers are gradually increasing, and as you see the tightening races between, like, say, Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz and some of the other Democrats in Texas, but also across the country. Arizona's on the cusp of going blue, so is Colorado, and it's because of the growing and changing demographics.
Well, Domingo Garcia, LULAC's new national president, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks.